purpose of this video is to provide some information on an increasingly emergent form of discrimination in modern society, discrimination against practitioners of BDSM and DS. For those of you who don't know, BDSM describes an incredibly varied set of sexual practices, both physical and psychological in nature, including bondage, the practice of being restrained physically, usually utilizing an instrument such as handcuffs or rope, discipline, the practice of punishing or being punished, sadism, the experience of pleasure from causing pain, suffering, and/or cruelty toward another, and masochism, the experience of pleasure from mental, emotional, or physical pain or humiliation. This community is very much linked, integrated, and yet at times separate from DS, which stands specifically for dominance and submission, the act of engaging in play that focuses on the dominant partner having and exercising control over the submissive partner. First, I think it is important to address some of the misconceptions that contribute to BDSM and DS misrepresentation, misinterpretation, and discrimination. Misconception number 1 is that it's not consensual, that BDSM and DS are forms of partner abuse in which one partner, the top, forces their will upon another, the bottom. The truth is that BDSM and DS, as they exist as communities rather than simply sexual practices, are very much focused on consent and the enjoyment of all players. It is considered standard community practice for members to discuss likes, dislikes, limits, and needs prior to play sessions, and the vast majority of community members utilize safe words, most often words such as yellow, meaning slow down, or red, meaning stop. With or without safe words, it is also expected that a, quote, good top be constantly in tune with their bottom's feelings and looking for signs that the bottom is enjoying themselves, and if the bottom may be reaching a personal limit. Bottoms often describe their submission as a gift or proof of their love, and are considered by many to have greater real power in a session, as their limits are often the focus, and they are more likely to use a safe word and immediately stop the session. As with any other sexual practice, there will always be those who attempt to force the act on others. However, this is not supported by the community and can easily earn a community member a poor reputation and/or exile, to the degree that access to events is limited or denied, and that potential partners are nowhere to be found. Misconception number 2 is that BDSM and DS are just a way for sexist men to act out their misogynistic fantasies. It is all about their pleasure, not their partners, and displays a selfish desire to fulfill one's needs without consideration for the needs of their partner. The truth is that not all BDSM and DS couples involve a male top and female bottom, but this is a pairing that seems to gain a lot of negative attention, and I believe this misconception is one of the reasons. It seems to generally be expressed in the assumption that the top is either being willfully selfish or simply engaging in sexual behaviors that please them without any consideration of why they enjoy it or the effect on their partner. The truth is that a series of studies by Patricia Cross, Ph.D., and Kim Matheson, Ph.D., found that dominant men engaging in sadomasochism were more likely to hold pro-feminist attitudes than control group participants, and that in a battery of psychological testing they held no significant differences in either psychopathology or escapist tendencies when compared with the control group. This runs contrary to popular beliefs that these men must be psychologically damaged or hateful toward women. Additionally, there is emerging research indicating that S&M activities, including spanking, bondage, and flogging, can bring couples closer together, and stress-induced hormonal changes revert back to normal shortly after scenes that, according to their participants, went well. It is also ludicrous to imagine that the majority of BDSM and DS practitioners would engage in their preferred sexual activities without any attempt at deeper examination of their desires and practices, especially given that they are not the norm or well represented in modern media. The very nature of BDSM and DS involves the sexualizing of trust and power. Peggy Kleinplatz, Ph.D., has noted that as a result, couples engaging in these activities may in fact be less willing to engage in sex that is purely physical, and, in her experience, tend to be very interested in exploring what lies beneath the physical act. Misconception number 3 is that people engaging in BDSM and DS just think that they enjoy it, but that we know better than that. This, in my opinion, is one of the more disturbing and harmful misconceptions against BDSM and DS, and is one I hear voiced most often in feminist theory. The idea that women cannot truly consent to engaging in BDSM and DS, particularly if they are submitting to a man, as any semblance of consent is actually the manifestation of internalized oppression. But you know what? I think I've heard this somewhere before. You know, the idea that women can't make their own sexual decisions, that women making these sexual decisions don't know what's best for them, and that someone else should just step in and make these decisions for them, because in the end everyone will be happier that way. Eerie, isn't it? Misconception number 4 is the idea that, okay, so they both enjoy it, they both consent, but it's bad for society, so they should stop anyway. This is the idea that a socially conscious BDSM practitioner should choose to abstain from these practices even if they enjoy them, because otherwise they are encouraging violence and or sexism. And here I am with another creepy sense of deja vu, because this too seems frighteningly familiar. The idea that what two consenting adults choose to engage in their private lives should be discouraged, stopped, and perhaps even made illegal, because we don't want those people turning our kids into people like them. Now, it's tempting for some people to say, so what? Who cares what they think about you? People hate other people for pointless reasons all the time. You just need to stop caring about what other people think. But it's not as if it doesn't have an effect. Let's bypass the obvious for the moment, as I really don't have time to address all of the negative, life-altering effects of living in a society that denigrates your sexual practices and causes you anxiety over the possible social consequences of being outed. But suffice it to say, they are real, they are serious, and they are many. The truth is, even if a community member is completely confident in their sexual identity, comfortable in their sexual practices, and feels no anxiety or shame whatsoever due to their engagement in BDSM and or DS, they may still not be able to escape risks, including the following. Although this video has been too short to address the multitude of the complexities involved in BDSM and DS play, representation, and discrimination, I hope that this has at least addressed some of the most obviously errant assumptions involved and has helped to highlight the real and serious consequences of continued BDSM discrimination, both in the effects had on individuals engaging in these acts and in the dangerous precedent being set in our society for the acceptance of discrimination based on the sexual preferences of consenting adults. Lastly, I would like to leave you with some additional resources for positive information, exploration, and discussion concerning BDSM and DS.